Storm Tracker 6. This is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It's been a rather gloomy and dreary day across mid-Michigan. Still seeing a couple of pockets of drizzle across mid-Michigan. Other than that, satellite and radar still remaining fairly quiet across the area. Dense cloud cover in place this evening. It will continue overnight tonight as well. Temperatures currently hovering in the mid to low 40s, 43 degrees in Ionia, 44 for our current temperature in Lansing, St. John's, and over in Owasso as well. We will be staying mainly dry overnight tonight, cloud cover lingering, only cooling our temperatures down into the low 40s. We have 50s in the forecast for tomorrow. More details coming up in just a bit. 6 News at 5:30 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5:30.
Right now at 5:30, gruesome details in the murder case of a Michigan man accused of killing 2 women and filming parts of it. Plus, not 1, not 2, but 3 drunk drivers at a head-on crash scene in Ohio involving a state trooper. And a 6-foot-long angry alligator is wrestled out of a bedroom in Detroit. Those stories and a lot more, and all in the first 6 minutes. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's go ahead and start that clock. And we begin tonight in Muskegon County, where a man is accused of killing 2 women, and prosecutors say he recorded the crimes on video. A judge formally charged D'Angelo Aubrey with 2 counts of open murder in court yesterday. He's accused of killing Sashay Spears and Shalenthia Willis on Monday. Police arrested the 42-year-old suspect that night. Prosecutors say Aubrey had a relationship with both women and that he might have used a hammer and other weapons in the killing and recorded them on video.
The videos also depicted these women either in the process of dying or dead, and they were sent to individuals. Throughout the investigation, there then was search warrants conducted where an additional video was found where he's actually in the process of killing one of the individuals, and several pictures were taken as well.
Court records show Aubrey was paroled in March after being sentenced to prison for armed robbery. He is now being held without bond. Also in West Michigan, an Ottawa County man is now being charged with making threats against a U.S. Secret Service agent. He's also accused of threatening President Donald Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, prosecutors say Aaron Watcher posted those threats on social media on the platform X back in October. They say after the killing of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk, Watcher posted that if the Trumps and Netanyahu killed Kirk, he was going to kill them. Officials say the suspect was visited by the Secret Service, and he later told them he would defend himself if they came back. Also in Ottawa County, someone drove an SUV into a Dollar Tree store this morning, injuring 2 people. The sheriff's office there says the 84-year-old driver had hit another car in the parking lot first before crashing into the store, and there were people inside. 1 person in the store had minor injuries. The driver was also not that seriously injured, and that crash is still under investigation. On the east side of the state, Kimberly Taylor of Farmington Hills is now being charged with driving into 3 road workers, killing one of them back in July. The other workers were injured. The 53-year-old woman was arraigned in an Oakland County courtroom after police arrested her yesterday. She was released on a $5,000 bond. Staying in Oakland County, a 27-year-old cold case might be solved. Sheriff's officials say Jack Young, a 45-year-old Indiana man, shot 73-year-old Charles Barnett during a home burglary in Pontiac back in 1998. Detectives say Barnett was killed when he surprised the burglar, who took off after the shooting. They recently reopened the case, which they say led them to Young. Police arrested the suspect in Indiana. He is expected to be arraigned in Pontiac next week. Widening things out. Take a look at this. A highway patrol trooper in Ohio was hit head-on by a drunk driver in October. And while first responders were dealing with that, another drunk driver almost hit them. And then a third drunk driver going the wrong way came through that crash scene. The news release from the highway patrol did not mention if anyone was injured or killed in that crash or if anyone has been charged. Well, moving to Washington, D.C., the National Transportation Safety Board just released its preliminary report on the UPS cargo plane crash in Kentucky that killed 14 people earlier this month. In frame-by-frame images, the report says the left engine of the plane can be seen detaching from the wing and catching on fire. The NTSB says there were signs of stress on the part that connects the engine to the plane, and this crash is still under investigation as well. Some global news for you now. American and Russian diplomats have created a plan meant to end the war in Ukraine that calls for major concessions from that country. That's according to an unnamed source interviewed by the Associated Press. The proposal, which could still be changed, calls for Ukraine to surrender territory to Russia and to abandon certain weaponry. Now, it's not clear what concessions Russia will have to make, however. A large Christmas market in Germany opened today, about 1 year after someone drove a car into a crowd there, killing 6 people. A 51-year-old doctor is charged with 6 counts of murder and 338 counts of attempted murder in the trial that began earlier this month. At the market, organizers spent almost $300,000 upgrading security this year. Christmas markets are a large part of German culture, going back to the Middle Ages. Well, back here in the United States, a holiday tradition that's a century old had its opening night last night. Take a look. The Radio City Rockettes kicked off the 2025 Christmas Spectacular Show. The high-kicking dancers are just part of the show that features holiday music and scenes inspired by Christmas traditions. For this year's 100th anniversary, former Rockettes were invited to be a part of the show, and part of the street in front of Radio City Music Hall was renamed Rockettes Way. And back here in Michigan, and we end our first 6 minutes of news with some wild stories. First, the Department of Natural Resources says there are 27 confirmed cougar sightings in the state this year, and that is a new record, and not bad for an animal once thought to be wiped out here. This is also the 3rd consecutive year that a new record has been set, but experts say they still need to study the situation more before knowing if the cougar population in Michigan is stable. And in Detroit, when a woman went out to clean out her late son's bedroom over the weekend, she came face to face with a 6-foot-long alligator in the bedroom. Officials say the animal was being kept in the home for about 6 years, but it had been living in an aquarium barely bigger than its own body with no water to swim in and no heating equipment. An animal expert came out to wrangle the alligator and had some surprising trivia to share.
We get more calls here in Michigan for alligators than every other animal combined.
This alligator is heading to a sanctuary in Florida to live in a multi-million-dollar enclosure. So huge upgrade. But that's a little bit disturbing, Kendall. The amount of alligator calls.
Well, okay, so I'm hoping that this is just the amount of calls about an alligator, not the amount of alligators that we see. You see what I mean?
I see what you mean. I believe there are hundreds kept as pets in the state. They do get out.
For my mental sanity, I have to believe that it's just the calls.
They're iguanas, Kendall.
Yeah.
They're just iguanas.
Or just like multiple people calling about the same alligator.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You can think that, Kendall.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to think about some warmer weather, Siobhan.
I would also like to do that, Kendall.
And we also have that to talk about for the next several days as well.
That's just wicked.
Yeah.
In a good way.